Hello everyone from Bratislava, and in this video I want to talk about places where you can stay in this city, where it will be better to find an apartment or a hotel number if you are going here for a couple of days or even more. Now I'm sitting in the old part of Bratislava, near Bratislavski Grad or Castle of Bratislava, and near it we can find a lot of charming buildings, a lot of really nice streets, but here we also can find a lot of stairs and a lot of gradients, so maybe it will not be the easiest place to live. And you can find, of course, here a lot of apartments, a lot of hotels, even some hostels. I used to live here once when I was in Bratislava, but I can't say that it's a better place. It is definitely one of the best part of the city, but I think that you should go here for a walk, for a part of a day, but not for a stay, because not the best transport availability here in this part of the city. Anyway, if you think that going up and down almost all the time is okay for you, you can also find your place to stay in Bratislava here. And if we will go down from the castle and from this Bratislavski Grad region of Bratislava, we can walk to the market square and streets and buildings which are near that place. And I think, in my opinion, it's one of the best places where the tourists can stay in Bratislava, because here you can find a lot of different apartments, hotels, hostels too, for any budget, I think, and it is also very pleasant to walk here, because all is really flat in this part of the city. Yes, of course, a lot of tourists too, because it's a very touristic place in Bratislava. A lot of different museums, restaurants, places of attraction, and also not far away from Danube river. But if it's okay for you to live where a lot of tourists walk, it will be definitely the best place to live. A lot of streets are walking only, but to be honest, the center of Bratislava isn't very big, so I don't think that you will have a lot of difficulties that are connected with that. And I think that you can also live somewhere more closer to Danube river too. There you can find a lot of good hotels too. And as for me, it's the best part of Bratislava for tourists, where you can stay if you are going here for a couple of days, for a weekend, and it's really nice. Also, one of good places in Bratislava where you can also stay, it's near street Obchodna. It is this street with a tramway on it, and it's a long street, and here you can find some historical buildings. A lot of them have only 2 or 3 floors. It's quite interesting part of Bratislava. And I'm talking not only about these buildings on Obchodny Street, but also about some gardens, about some other streets that are near Obchodna. And here you can find a lot of apartments, some hotels too. Some apartments will be a little bit cheaper than in other parts of Bratislava city center. Of course, if it's a little bit cheaper, it is a reason for that, and this part of center isn't so clean as other ones. Anyway, if it's not so important for you, you can definitely choose this part of city center. And here also located a lot of different bars, restaurants, also some national restaurants, quite good too, and some shops, maybe some souvenirs you can find on this street too. Not so crowded part of Bratislava center, and you can sleep good here because it's more quiet. So you can choose this variant for your stay too. Another part of Bratislava, of its center, is located around the Blue Church, and here you can find a lot of variants to stay too, some mostly apartments, but some hotels too. Here aren't a lot of restaurants, of cafes, of bars, but this part of Bratislava is close to the river, close to the old center too. To be honest, not my favorite place to stay in Bratislava, because here you don't feel the vibe of the city too much, and you also feel like being somewhere off from the city center, but sometimes it will be a good decision to stay here too. Another part of Bratislava where you should consider a variant to live, it's near the Dunaj River, Danube River. Here you can find a really nice walking zone too. And I think that this variant will especially be good if you are going to Bratislava not for a couple of days, not for a weekend, but for 5 days or more, because it's a little bit far from center. Not so far, to be honest. It's I think 15-20 minutes by foot. But if of course you came here only for a couple of days, maybe it's better to live not here but closer to the city center. And here we can find this Eurovia trading center, Eurovia apartments too. A lot of these apartments are with a view on Dunaj River, a lot of restaurants on the first floor, really nice part for walking, for running too, running zone here. And a lot of apartments are quite new, quite modern here. Yes, I think it's not the part of Bratislava where you can find a lot of budget variants. Anyway, it's quite good, and it was Eurovia, and now they already, I think, completed Eurovia 2, another part of this center, yeah. And not far away from Eurovia, you can find a lot of other buildings, modern buildings, very high buildings, and it's also a good variant. A lot of them are not completed already. When I was here in Bratislava several years ago, there were only construction works with these high buildings of Bratislava, but now a lot of them are already finished and some of them in construction. Right now, you can find a lot of interesting variants, especially apartments right here, and I think that it is a really nice place to live in Bratislava. And of course, there are some other districts in Bratislava, but in my opinion, there are no a lot of reasons to choose them. It is better to stay somewhere in the city center, or some of the districts, or some of the parts of Bratislava which I also mentioned. Yes, I am now standing on the other side of Danube River, and here a lot of buildings, a lot of apartments too, but they are not so interesting, a lot of Soviet buildings, and also you will need to drive or to go by transport to the city center, and if you will stay in the city center, almost the whole attractions of Bratislava will be close to you, and I think that it is a great idea to stay exactly in the city center, and you can find also different variants for any price, something cheap, something expensive, something in the middle range too. I think it's a very affordable city for different tourists for different purposes. So that's all for today. Please comment this video, write if you already was in Bratislava, or maybe you just want to go here. Where did you stay if you already were here? And subscribe to this channel, and see you in new travel videos. Bye.